All right. Hi, Justin.
Hey, Darcy.
Thank you so much for coming here on short notice.
No, not at all. At
Yeah.
all. In fact, in the research
Right.
for getting this car, there were two channels that I was watching to see. One was Darren's
Yeah.
and yours,
Correct.
because you had done all those FSD
Yeah.
drives and all that, and I loved watching them. And I was like, oh my god, look, it's near my house.
Right.
Some of your POV drives.
Yeah,
right?
really.
So it was great. I was as every Model 3 and soon Model Y driver will decide soon, should I get FSD? Should I get EAP?
Correct.
And that is still this process that's going through my head now. So your videos were very helpful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for at least watching the things.
Yeah.
I hope it's helpful, right?
And then one day I was watching the videos like, hey, my friend Germaine is on the
show. Yeah, maybe before we start, I'm sure most people will know you already, but maybe just a quick one, like who the f is Justin? Why are you here?
I'm Justin Ang from Class 95. I host a show called Muttons in the morning.
Yeah. 95 already, no, 97.
Oh no, so don't worry. It's a common confusion. So me and Vernon started the Muttons at 987.
Correct.
So a lot of people still associate us with that because we were at 987 for 10 years.
Right.
And then 2015 we moved to Class 95 to anchor the morning show. So no, but so many people come, oh, I love 987. I'm like, that's great, but I'm not there anymore. But we're sister stations. We love all the folks over at 987. So we work as a team and all that. So yeah, on Class 95, I do the morning show. And well, the reason I'm here is because you asked me to come and appear on your channel. So.
Of course. So funny thing, right? It's about EV road tax, right? I saw one of those questions on your Instagram, and then someone was asking like, "Hey, what's the road tax you're paying?" And then you're like, "Oh, it's so."
And the most common comment you see from people out there is, why you buy Tesla? Why you buy EV? The road tax itself, it will completely negate all your savings. That's not entirely true. And I believe Darcy has videos with Excel sheets that breaks it down. So I can't even tell you the exact.
Oh yeah, I do.
You do, right?
I do.
But yes, the road tax is on an unreasonably high side. Although that being said, I see where they're coming from. As in, look, if you're going to buy a car that goes from 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds, then you should pay the road tax of a car. Other cars, they go 3.3 seconds. I get that, but it's not reasonable.
Correct.
Yeah, because I'm just going to repeat what you say all the time. Electric cars generally, by default, have more power.
Correct.
Because the batteries are heavy and they can generate more power, but at such efficiency that it doesn't matter.
Right.
So how can you peg the road tax to the power output of the car?
Correct.
I wish the policymakers would understand this.
Yeah.
Something tells me something will be done about it in the future. But it could be years
down the road, right? Yeah. All right. So anyway, let's maybe we can revisit the EV tax.
Yeah, sure.
At a later stage, right? But you've been a car fan. You've always you every year, right? You're almost changing cars. You were telling me just earlier.
Okay, no. I have to clarify that because that makes me sound terrible. No. I don't change cars every year.
Okay.
There was a period in time, and car fans will remember.
Okay.
Back in, I want to say 2009, 2010 times, where COE was low.
Right.
And you could take 100% loan.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was then that it wasn't just me. There were a lot of people. Every year change car.
Yeah.
There's almost no loss to you because COE was what, 10,000. I remember very specifically. I bought an Audi A4 at a point, and the COE was just under 10. It's like that's unthinkable these days.
Correct.
Yeah, and 100% loan. So okay lah. Drove it for a year and a half. Saw something else. Okay lah. Yeah. So that was the time. But the moment they stopped the 100% loan, the moment they pushed COE up to 50, 60, 70, 80,000.
Right.
You can't
do that anymore.
Yeah, so that's when I stopped as well.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, so what was your first car? So maybe we can have two things, right? The first one is your first car that wasn't yours, right? The first car that you drove, okay? Minus the driving instructor's car, okay?
Okay.
Remember that one. Okay. And then the next one is the first car that you bought.
Okay.
Okay, so let's have that one.
Okay, the first car I drove was the first car I got.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I didn't buy it. So full credit to my parents.
Okay.
So I'll tell you a story of how I tricked my parents.
All right, you did.
So my parents were like, okay, we're gonna sponsor your driving lessons,
Right.
and we're gonna buy you your first car.
Okay.
Because we want you to go overseas to study.
Right. Okay.
And when you go to like Australia or whatever, you're probably gonna have to drive.
Sure.
So let's give you those tools. I'm like, okay. I took the driving
nice
class and I passed on my second try, I think. And they bought me my first car, which was a Toyota Vios.
Oh, wow, that's the first car I drove. But anyway,
Hey, you know. So hey, it was Britney Spears' car. Yeah, she endorsed the Toyota Vios at the time. So so I got the car from there. I was like, oh, my first car.
Right.
Little did they know I had no intention of going overseas to study.
Right.
At all. I never wanted to do it. I was already in radio, and I was never gonna quit radio to go and study. So like, you know, so but to them I was like, yeah, I can't wait to go to Australia.
Right.
So then I got the car already, you know, and I started driving. I'm like, actually, I'm not gonna study. So, what can you do?
What can you do? You can't say anymore, right?
So so that was the first car I drove, but I didn't buy.
Okay.
The first car I bought after I sold the Vios was a Toyota RAV4.
Is it it's a bit boxy?
Boxy, and this was the RAV4 with the tire at the back. So I was really into SUVs back then.
Right.
And Vernon, my partner, he was driving a RAV4 at the time. I was like, wow, that's such a cool car.
Right.
So I saved up enough, sold the Vios, and my parents were like,
so you follow Vernon,
keep the money, like, you know. No, by the time I bought the RAV4, he had sold his RAV4. So, I got the RAV4 and I loved it. To me, it was the coolest SUV on the road.
Right. Yeah. Right. That was nice. So that was the first
Yeah.
And then after that, you went through like which one was your favorite out of all the? I mean, so far, like minus the Tesla, right? We give some other cars a chance.
Okay. Because you know I was going to say Tesla's my favorite. My favorite was my 5 Series.
5 Series.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was the 5 Series G30. I want to say that's which is the car I owned just before this.
Sure.
Yeah. I loved it. So comfortable. It was a 540, so 3 liter. Very powerful, and it's just cruisy lah. You know, I like that. So that was my favorite. My least favorite, I know you didn't ask. I'm just gonna say, I was young and stupid at one point.
Sure.
So I bought a Mazda RX-8.
Oh, okay.
My size. I've always been this size. I bought an RX-8 because I thought it was like, wow, so small. Wow, within like 3 days, I'm like, I can't even get in the car, right? And then getting out of the car, like I had to twist my. Oh, what a dumbass! So I sold it after like 8 months.
Okay, why the RSA not the MX-5 though? Like they're
MX-5. So I think even MX-5, even me was like, that's too small.
That's too small. Okay.
I kept telling myself RX-8 can lah. The door opens so wide. Oh, what a.
I mean, the MX-5 you can climb in, right? You're tall enough, right? You could just like bring your leg up.
That was the biggest. And then only after that I found out about the rotary.
Of course.
Oh, this is too expensive.
Too expensive, right? Yeah. Okay. So now that you've you've driven this like the Tesla for like 3 months, 3 months. So what are some of the things you enjoy, and perhaps maybe like 2 or 3 of the most annoying things that you've faced in the car so far? It's a short time, but I mean I'm sure you spend quite a bit of time inside.
I'll tell you my 2 favorite things about the car.
Sure.
One is Autopilot.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually really like Autopilot because I expressway a lot.
Okay, for sure.
I live in the Kovan area. I work in Buona Vista. So every single day it's a long expressway.
That's quite a bit of a drive.
Yeah, and Autopilot is brilliant on the expressway, right? Just, activate it. I can have breakfast. I can do so many other things, right? So I really enjoy Autopilot. It took me a couple of days to trust it.
Of course.
But I really do trust it now.
Yep.
It stays in lane so well, and it slows down when it needs to and all that. And I have not even experienced phantom braking once.
Okay.
I have to be very honest. I hear it. I hear other people say it.
Okay.
I think you've experienced it, but it hasn't happened to me.
Okay.
So I love Autopilot, and when I show friends and all that, like,
they're like,
look,
drive.
it's steering itself, and they're like, wow, I didn't know Singapore allows this. I didn't know Singapore has this. I'm like, only Tesla.
Correct.
So I love Autopilot, and I love the iPhone-ness about it, in a sense that, updates are pushed and
Sure.
you get upgrades.
Yep.
You get, not great upgrades. They're not going to, decrease your 0 to 100, but you get a lot of cool features pushed to your car. I've never had a car like that before.
Correct.
Even something small, like recently, one of the most recent updates was they included Disney Plus.
Right.
Into the car. And I'm like, which other car have you ever had that when you bring it to the service center, it comes out with a new feature?
Correct.
It doesn't happen. So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I know that's going to be a norm eventually.
Correct.
With all electric cars being smart and all that. But again, Tesla did it first and doing it very well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course. So it's one of those things, right? It's kind of like you buy a car and it's constantly getting better over time.
Exactly. And you don't have to pay for these upgrades.
Correct.
There is one update I just saw. I haven't received the update yet.
Right.
But I believe they're pushing this update where they're giving you like a traffic light chime.
Correct.
Which I experienced when I drove a Tesla in the US. And I was like, oh, so clever.
Correct.
The light, the car alerts you when the light turns green. It's like so simple.
Correct.
But it's great. And we don't have to pay for it. It's going to come as a free update.
Correct. And in all fairness, right? So this tag actually, it's on, right?
Yeah.
So it actually a lot of level 2 ADAS vehicles, they actually do have it. But the difference is, right, this car is recognizing the traffic light.
Yeah.
The other cars are recognizing the vehicle in front of them.
Correct. Okay.
So like in the States, right, where they actually allow traffic sign control. So in the city streets, the car actually pulls to a stop at the traffic light. So if it turns red, this car will slow down. Or rather, every time it's near a traffic junction, it will slow down. And if I don't know whether you realize, every time when you see a traffic junction, you actually have a visualization on your screen with like a horizontal line across. That's the line that Tesla is drawing for the vehicle to stop before the line.
Wow.
So yeah, I think once that comes, it's great, right? Like, I mean, if you're distracted halfway, if you're tired or even doing something else, or Vernon distracts you with food.
I am so looking forward to this update. I'm checking every day now, but I haven't received the update. Come on, push it to me, please. Yeah. But I mean, that to me, and being an iPhone fan as well for many years, it just feels. Yeah, this is the way of the world,
Correct, it is.
Push updates to me, make my life better, and don't charge me for it,
But only time, right, when they did screw up the UI in the previous one, right? That kind of happened in past, but it happens. So it's one of those things, right? Like, normally, like, I'll never buy a brand new car like for myself, just off tangent a bit. But this car, I reserved it in 1.6. I waited 5 years for the car to come. And the only reason for it, I used to tell people, actually, it's the same thing that you said to Darren, right? It's like an iPhone moment for the whole car industry, right?
It really is.
It really changes things. And you don't get it until you experience what it's like being inside here. You use it for a few months and you're like, oh shit, it's changed things.
Driving should be like this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, reimagine what driving is.
I am loving most of it.
Yeah, most of it. All right, so now you say most of it. Brings us, thanks for bringing us to the next point. Like, what do you not like about it?
Just nitpicking a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
Nitpicking a little bit. I hate that it doesn't have the simplest of buttons.
All right, okay.
To open the glove box. Like, seriously, you're gonna make me. So I've learned eventually that you can use the voice command to open the glove box.
Yeah,
but it's still pressing a button going, open glove box, please, and then I mean, come on. I mean, a button wouldn't kill you,
Yeah.
I think I will appreciate a speedometer somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things I loved about my 5 Series, and BMW are not the only ones who have that, is a heads-up display.
Sure.
Yeah, heads-up display is to me, it's just one of those necessities, and it can't be very expensive to implement. Okay. So I would love to have it. It's more of, it's not so much a hate, but it's more of it'll be a nice to have.
Sure.
And the only other thing that annoys me for me is the space lah.
Okay.
I'm a big guy. I know what I got into by buying a Model 3. It's a small car, and I'm used to slightly bigger cars, but I would like a little bit more space. Yeah. Which could be solved by the Model Y, Model S, or Model.
Oh no, you could
X.
You could like start working out.
Next question. Next question, please. Yeah.
We are skipping that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, on that part, right? You can actually buy programmable buttons. Okay. Where you can stick it to the back of your screen.
I think I saw that, but I didn't read up about it.
Right. If you really want, to like the glove box to almost at the press of a button. You can put some buttons here and pre-program it to like beep. And I mean, if you open a glove box for so often, I don't know why you have to open your glove box so often.
Because Because me and my wife keep our masks in there.
Oh.
Yeah, so every time we need a mask, we're like, oh, okay, open glove box and all that. Oh, okay, I got one more nitpick.
Right.
Which is kind of self-inflicted.
Sure.
But I went to upgrade to the 20-inch rims.
Huh.
And the ride is a little bit harsh.
Yes.
Yes. The thing is, I upgraded it within like 2 days of getting the car.
Oh no.
So I don't remember how soft the 18s were.
Sure.
So, but I feel like the 20s are a little harsh. Not deal breaking.
Sure.
I wish it was a little bit more pliant.
Right. Yeah. What's your tire pressure?
Oh wow. Let's check. I don't actually know my tire pressure.
We're not moving right now,
when the car doesn't move, it doesn't. The last I checked was 41. I think 41.
Oh, that's quite low already, right?
Oh, really?
Correct. So mine was running 46.
Wow.
Yeah, 46, 45, right?
Okay,
I mean, you do get more range, but I mean, with the 20-inch rims, then a lesser pressure would mean nicer, right? To be fair, the car is firm, right? It's meant to be that way. Like so, it's definitely not a 5 Series, so it's not as comfortable for sure.
Yes,
you're definitely going to feel the bumps. It's going to poop, and of course at 44 to 45, then even for my side, it's like a bit harsh.
Okay,
so definitely that's the case.
You say it's not deal breaking, but yeah, I did come from a 5 Series. So
right,
you do feel the bumps and all that, but it's fine.
It's fine,
it's
right?
Fine. Yeah, it's not a big deal for me.
Yeah. So for me, the one thing that I really cannot stand is the wipers.
Okay. Yes.
Yes? There's one more thing?
The damn wipers. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so violent when it doesn't need to be. I don't know why. So I end up, I know it's very stupid, but I end up manually activating the wipers.
I know, right?
Press the button every time I want the wiper to go. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. It's one of those things, right? Like it's almost as though there's only 2 speeds in Singapore. Like it's either on at
yeah.
Or it doesn't. It's like
no. And my point is that, with everything that Tesla does, it's a very quick software tweak.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it can't be done.
To be fair, right? Like, I'm sure you have driven in States. Like
yes.
So I was in States a few months back, right? Like, I was driving for electrified. I mean, it barely rained over there.
Oh yeah.
Like, even if it rains, it's like toop, 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 toop. And it's like for them, it's a thunderstorm warning, right?
Okay.
So it kind of explains why in Southeast Asia, like it's not localized for us here. So maybe something like now that there's new management, maybe you could write in to suggest to them like
I understand. It was a car built in America and stuff like that. But it feels like a very simple software tweak.
Correct, right? If they can solve autopilot, why can't you fix the wipers?
Yes, wipers, guys. Give us make it a little bit more usable.
Right? Okay.
Yes, wipers.
All right. Okay. Anyway, wipers.
I think I'm done with my nitpicks. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Anyway, let's try Autopilot, right? You mentioned that you really like Autopilot.
I do.
And so we had a quick chat like EAP, like so what's holding you back from EAP? Enhanced Autopilot is something where you could use the auto lane changes. You get a few other features which
I know auto parks.
It doesn't work.
I know some of my previous cars auto park too, but I never used it. I'm like, I think I'm a good parker, so I park fast myself. I don't need the car to park for me. But auto lane change, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'll be honest. The main thing holding me back is the cost, lah.
Right.
Right. Sure. I mean, $6,000 is no small change, but I've been leaning towards it.
Sure.
So for people who haven't been keeping track, so for a while the only option was FSD.
Sure, full self-driving.
$11,800.
Yes.
Oof. And I've watched your videos and all that. I'm like, no lah, I don't think I want to pay 11, especially when we don't get FSD beta here.
Yes.
Yeah, not yet. So that was never good. But when they came out with enhanced autopilot and gave you most of the FSD features for half the price,
actually all of the FSD features.
All the FSD features, like, so tempting, you know. So, I mean, to honestly, it's just the price.
Sure.
Once I'm willing to cross that barrier, maybe when I get my bonus, I'm like, okay lah, let's go for it,
Okay.
So you are the foremost expert about FSD and EAP in Singapore. Is it worth $5,800? That's the price, right?
So the one thing I tell people, right, like based on the amount that you drive, if 70 or 80% of the time you're on autopilot, it's worth it's worth every single time.
Oh, but that's me.
Correct.
That's me.
So okay, here it is, right? You have 48 hours trial. All right, if you get EAP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have like a 48 hours period to test the car. Like, I think you can check for it in the app, right?
Okay.
Just make sure that there's a 48 hours trial.
Okay.
Try it for 48 hours.
Right.
Properly drive 200 kilometers. I'm happy to be the EAP instructor here if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, really try it. I think you will really enjoy it because it really adds to one of those things where right now when you have autopilot on, you drive down the highway, right? And let's say you're in the middle lane, like you kind of have to plan in advance. Okay, for the next 10 minutes of my drive, this lane may be okay.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're planning that, right? And then you turn on autopilot. And then someone comes in and they're like,
Oh no, there will always be one idiot who's on the CTE going at 60.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know, and then it forces you to change lane, and that's when it gets annoying.
Correct. And you gotta flick it off, go in a lane, turn it back on.
Yeah.
And so it really removes the whole thing. You can get point to point on autopilot without turning it off.
That's the dream, man. That's what
and you could even talk to Vernon or have a show in the car. Right? While driving, right? You could have a special show.
Yeah.
It's really worth everything. Like one day try it.
It feels
Okay, tell you what, if I'll give you $5 back. If I cannot convince you on the next drive, like after you activate the 48 hours, if I'm here and I cannot convince you, I buy you a coffee. I buy you a drink.
Okay.
A drink's on me.
Today I learned something new. I didn't know there was a trial.
Sure.
I didn't know there was a trial. So then I'll definitely try it first. And then in 48 hours, so in 48 hours, if you cancel, they don't charge you.
They don't charge you.
Oh.
Double confirm. It's in the app, right? So FSD, I didn't get it 48 hours, right? The minute I took it in, I couldn't cancel it. But that was really early days. Things are getting better. I think feedback is going through. So now I think you have 48 hours, but if you're not sure, just give them a call. Right.
And when do you see FSD beta making its way here? Magic question.
I think autonomous driving, at least, so there's level 1 to level 5, quick one. So level 5 is when we totally don't have to, like no humans are required to be in the car, right? That's a bit far, right? So the closest we can ever get is level 4, right? Singapore is a perfect place for level 4, which means the car can handle everything. But you need to be in the car.
Sure.
All right, that's fair, right?
Sure.
So with that, it's really all up to LTA. Right, so they have the whole mobility division right now.
Right.
And it's how much emphasis they're going to put on whether or not they see this as transforming transportation as a whole. Right? If you really think about it, it's going to be amazing because now you get to maximize the utility of the vehicles.
That's right.
So in the morning, let's say you want to drive the wife somewhere, and you say you just sit in the car, and the car sends wife, the car sends the kids, sends you to school, and then if you don't want to pay parking, I don't know if for some reason you can send the car, or you can't send the car back level 4. You have to be in the car.
Be in the car, right?
Right, but at least the vehicle can do everything.
Yeah. Okay, so it's up to LTA.
It's up to LTA. I've been trying to reach out to LTA for this. But anyway, so that's autonomous driving, right?
Yeah.
So let's go back to road tax. Quick one. Right. So now, do we have any suggestions? Right. So we get it. Like we all get it. There needs to be some form of a luxury tax. All right.
Sure.
Like,
I understand.
You want to charge for premium vehicles? That's fair. All right. But you have most like this. The tax we pay on a Tesla right now. Is more than a Ferrari. Right?
Yes.
It's way more than a Ferrari. It's just madness, right?
Yeah, it is madness. So I mean, I don't claim to be an expert in this, but I think the easiest thing to do is to have two separate taxes for now.
Sure.
A tax structure for ICE cars and a tax structure for EVs. Yeah.
Correct.
Because currently they are pegging the road tax of an EV to the power, regardless whether it's an ICE car or an EV. That doesn't make sense, you know, because EVs are a completely different breed altogether.
Right.
And what doesn't even make sense for me more is the push for EVs.
Yes.
You cannot on one hand push for EVs, but on the other hand say, we're gonna charge you more for it. Then what sense does it make?
Correct.
It's almost like HPB saying, hey, we want all of you guys to eat healthy, but healthier food will cost twice as much.
Yes.
They don't do that.
Correct.
Right? They don't tax you to buy healthier food. So why are you taxing me more for doing what you want? And that's promoting sustainability. So they do need to think about it.
Correct. Yeah. So I think that's one of those things. Let's hope that maybe in 1 or 2 years they can really push something. I mean, we do have enough chargers. Like as it comes up, hopefully more home charging becomes available. Once those are up, like please by all means go in, let people adopt EVs and.
I mean, I get it. You know,
Right.
you gotta make money lah.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct.
you gotta charge, but we are paying enough.
Sure.
We're not saying don't charge us
That's
road tax.
correct.
We're gonna pay road tax, your ERP,
Sure.
your COE, and all
Right.
that. You're still making money from us. What
Right.
we're asking just is for a bit of reason
Yes.
in how you structure the road
Road
tax.
tax. Correct.
You know, so it has to be thought out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for the next version where they charge road tax based on how much you use the road. And then they'll tweak.
Oh, the
road tax.
satellite.
The satellite thing.
Okay. That to me will be reasonable too. You
That-
know.
yeah.
But for now,
For now.
all us EV owners, and this is not just a Tesla thing,
Sure.
right? All us EV owners are feeling is that we are being penalized.
Sure, of course.
It's that feeling of I'm being punished because I decided to switch to
a cleaner alternative.
a
in
cleaner
fact.
alternative to switch to the future.
Yeah.
You are being penalized for it.
Sure.
That doesn't make sense, and that's
Yeah.
going to turn a lot of people off from switching.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, okay. Enough about road tax. Enough about cars.
We could go
We
on
could
for
go
a while, on this.
right?
Oh
Like,
my
I mean,
God.
like, don't get me started, right? So
Yeah.
much to talk about. I can even tell you, like, you know, the fuel petrol,
Yeah.
like you get taxed for every additional liter, right?
Yeah.
It actually happens the same for electricity right now. So every public charger, actually the government does take back some money from every kilowatt that you charge, right? It's all in the tender documents. If you look at it, it's there, right? So we I mean, let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
I'm not here to criticize. We're here to provide solutions. So all right. So that's it for cars. So tell us a bit, maybe something about yourself, right? I mean, you've been in the industry for so long, super lao jiao, not lan jiao, lao jiao.
Yeah.
Like
That's usually not a word lao jiao that people say about me because thank God I still look quite young. No, okay. So the reason why
after that, give me $10.
the reason I'll give you a lot more than $10.
Okay.
The reason why I'm a lao jiao is because I started very young.
Sure.
I started doing radio when I was 16.
Of course.
Right. So so I'm 40 this year,
Right.
and I've already been doing this 24 years.
Of course.
You know, so
I grew up listening to you. Just right, anyway.
Thank you. Well, $20, $30 or something. So yeah, I've been. This is the only job I've ever had.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been doing this since.
Okay.
Right after my O levels.
Sure.
You know, and yeah, it's my life's passion. Yeah.
Why though? Like what got you into it? Like after O levels, you know, it's like, oh, young Justin comes up and like, okay, I'm gonna talk on radio. Like I can't stop talking. Like
So like a lot of teenagers,
Sure.
Especially of our time,
Sure.
I listened to the radio all day. You know, this was pre-internet. There was no internet. There was no
Okay.
Netflix. There was,
Okay.
you know, we were still listening to cassettes and CDs.
Interesting, right?
So yeah, when you're studying for your exams and all
Right.
that, the radio was on, you know, and I always had this affinity towards the DJs.
Sure.
You know, I loved listening to them. I'm one of those people so people listen to radio are split into two camps.
Okay.
One love hearing the DJs.
The DJs,
Yeah. Wow, when the DJ talk, everybody shut up, I must listen. But then there's the other group that, why is the DJ talking so much? Shut up,
Yes.
I just want the music, you know? To which I go, Spotify,
right? Yeah,
you know?
correct.
That's where nobody's talking there, what? You know, so I was the type that I love hearing the DJs talk.
Sure.
You know, like whatever they say, I find it funny. I found it relatable.
Right.
I had my own favorite, you know,
Right.
DJs and all that. So from a very young age, you know, I was like, I want to try to do this.
Sure.
But of course, in your mind, it's like that's like saying you want to be a Hollywood actor. You know?
Right.
How do you become a Hollywood? Yeah. So when I was 16, just before my O levels, a radio station held a talent search.
Okay.
And it was just one of those things you just sign up and hope for the best.
Right.
Lah. So that's what I did. And
Okay.
through whatever ways and means, I won the
Right.
talent search.
Okay.
And that led me into my first radio gig because, you know, the prize was like a 6-month contract.
Okay.
So you know, they had no choice but to hire me.
Yeah.
To which I always remember my first boss telling me to this day, I walked into a room, you know,
Right.
after signing a contract, she's like, I have no idea what to do with you.
Really?
You know, because how do I put a 16-year-old on air?
Yeah.
You know? Then I'm like, let me win the contest. You know, but yeah,
Right.
so I started, you know, trailing and
Sure.
what's the understudying,
Okay.
understudying all the DJs at that station,
Yeah.
and just learn, just absorb,
Okay.
you know.
Well, like, who made the biggest impact along the way? Like, I'm sure the beginning stages were really, really difficult, right? Like, you're really just having to, and back then, like, radio is one of those that everyone is listening in, right? Like, the amount of...
So at the time, okay, so I was at a station called Power 98,
Sure.
which still exists today. It's under
still exists.
Yeah, well, I mean, some stations come and go, you know, but
okay.
Power 98. Sure. So that's where I got my start, and the two people there, two of the more senior ones who really make an impact on me and taught me a lot that I know, two people who are still on radio today.
Oh, wow.
One is Germaine Ratnam.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe he's the boss over at Power 98 right now.
Sure.
And the other is Rob Monteiro. He was very senior and he's just a fantastic radio guy.
Sure.
And I was like, I want to be like Rod one day, you know, this funny guy on radio. Everybody loves him. You know? So yeah, I understudied them a lot. They taught me a lot as well. So those were the two that really got me. And these two guys, like I said, they're still doing radio today. Yeah. Passionate as hell. You know, it's not about the fame, it's not about the money, it's about making great radio every day. So that's the one thing I credit the two of them for teaching me all this.
Were there like challenges along the way where, I don't know, like were there like really bad times where you even felt like, you know, but I'm just going to switch an industry, or I was like, things got really bad?
I love the industry so much. You know, I feel I've never lost the passion for it. So I've never felt like quitting. Sure. But of course there are frustrating times. You know, and it's very. It feels like a very first world problem, but it's very stuff like, I have this great idea. I want to do this big stunt and promo, and they're like, we got no money. You know, it's those moments like, oh man, I have this. I know this idea will be great. It will go viral and stuff like that. But then you can't even give me $5,000 to do this idea. You know, stuff like that. Those are frustrating moments. Sometimes when we get we are creative people, so when you get criticized for a creative idea, you know, when someone can't see that how you're being creative, that gets frustrating. But nothing ever too like, I hate this industry. No, for me, you know, this has always been my life. And, I will be in this industry till I'm 70 or 80.
When was the first time you hosted your first show though? Like you say you started 16.
As in radio show?
Yeah, radio show.
Oh, okay. I think I understudied for a good 3 months before they trusted me.
3 months and they trusted you to a channel?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Did it not have enough staff?
That's last time. Today, as with everything in the world,
I know,
there is no patience. Nowadays, the understudy for like 1 week. And they go on already. 1 week
and you go on air?
Yeah. Nowadays like that, you know, because
I mean, to be fair, next day you can start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. You know, so in the past they used to make us train a lot longer than now.
3 months is not long.
I mean, but 3 months feels very long when you are training and understanding every day. Is this ever going to happen? You know? Yeah. So it was just one of those things. I was training, and then one day one of the DJs fell sick, and they're like, you host this. I remember it was one of those countdown shows. Right. You know.
It was a countdown show.
Countdown show. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, okay. So wow. You know, and it was of course because it was the DJ who fell sick. I was told on the day itself. Right. Yeah. So I said, I'll do it. Right. You know. So did the show. Okay. I am quite sure I still have a recording of it somewhere.
Really?
And it was just, wow, it's just one of the most terrible things.
You should post it.
You've ever...
No, you should do a reaction to it. Like you and Vernon should do a reaction to it together. It bring that tape up.
It was so horrible. I sounded like a...
If you can.
I sounded like one of those Disney kids, you know, like...
It's the best thing, right?
So bad. But yeah, I mean, that's when they gave me my first show, and then soon after, I was given my own show to host every day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was the first show stressful? Like the first time that you in front of the mic, you're gonna start, and you're like,
oh, you have no idea, man, the stress. And it's such a strange thing, right? Because now I see it happen to others every day.
All right.
When we have new people coming in and you know, I help to train some of them as well. You know, and I look at them, I'm like, oh my God, what how was that before? You know, like you're like, whoa, okay, there's so many buttons in front of you. Right. You know, what if I say the wrong thing? And
I know, right? Especially today, you cannot say the wrong thing.
What if I say the wrong thing? What if I say a bad word? And so many things can go wrong. Yeah. But I tell every single DJ I train this, I want things to go wrong. I want you to fuck up.
Why?
Hey, sorry. You have to
No, that's fine.
You have to cut that word up.
I'm not gonna care.
I want you to screw up.
Going up.
Because that's the only way you learn.
Of course.
The only way
best
you
lesson.
learn. The best lesson, especially for radio, because radio is live.
Sure.
When you make a mistake, you can never take it back. Never. And that's when you go, you will.
You remember it for life.
Yes, you wanna punch yourself in the moment. How could I have done that? I'm so stupid.
Yep.
But because of that, you will never do it.
You will never do it again.
So to me, of course, when you are a newbie, you will never think that way.
Sure.
But I tell them, you need to screw up.
Sure.
Because if you don't screw up and when you finally do,
right,
that's when you'll be like, oh, you know. So
correct.
Screw up, learn, and the mark of a great radio presenter and all is that you never do it again.
Yep, of course. And so I mean, so that was your solo journeys, right? And then after that, somehow along the way, the universe threw you Vernon. when and how? Like,
the universe threw me Vernon. Oh my!
How was the first day both of you met each other?
So here's
it's like this guy.
Here's a fun story. No, exactly that, right?
Right.
So I had made a transition from Power 98, which is not under MediaCorp, to MediaCorp, which
Vernon was under MediaCorp.
Yeah, so Vernon was in MediaCorp already. So
he's Power 98 guy.
Vernon also started at Power 98.
Okay, that's fine.
A lot of us started at Power 98, you know, so we always give credit to them. This is where we started. Anyway, so I had just made a transition to MediaCorp, and to me, it was the holy ground.
Okay.
To me, it was like, you know, Power 98, to all due respect, is Power 98.
Sure.
But MediaCorp is the network.
Sure.
The platform, you know, the biggest radio network till today in Singapore. So, of course, it's where you want to go. It's where you want to be. Took me 6 years to get their attention. And they were very kind to hire me back in 2005. So I joined what was then known as the Perfect 10. 987, right? And I came in and they were like, okay, so just nice, we are going to revamp the station.
Sure.
We're going to drop the name Perfect 10. We're never going to be known as Perfect 10 ever again.
Fantastic Four. No, just kidding.
Yeah. We are just going to be called 987. You know, drop all the 9.7, drop all the FM. We are just 987.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, cool. You know, I'm joining at a time of transition and all that. So they said, okay, and then we want to create new shows and all that. So Justin, you'll be paired up with Vernon. So I was like, what? I'm the new guy, you know. I should be given my own solo 2-hour show just to get my feet wet a little bit, you know. But I'm paired with Vernon. And by the way, you guys are doing the morning show.
And the morning show is it?
Yeah, they usually they give the morning to the only the best.
Only best.
Yeah, because that's usually when most stations have the highest listenership. So I'm like, huh? Are you joking? You know, and then I didn't know Vernon very well.
Sure.
Yeah, he was a new colleague.
Have you guys met prior? No, not yet.
Just hi bye.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So and we were like, and I was like, okay, I know he's 10 years older than me.
Sure.
Yeah, we have that age difference, right?
Right.
We have quite different lifestyles and all that. So I'm like, oh my god, my career at MediaCorp is over, even before it began. How am I gonna do a show with this guy? Morning show. Oh my god. So it was terrible. I went back and told my wife like, that's it.
Gone now.
That's it. You know, I'm screwed. I might have to think of another career. You know, and I really, really thought that at the time.
Okay.
But thankfully, within a couple of days, we met up. We discussed what we want to do for the new show, and we realized that our wavelength is so similar. You know, and that's because the credit again goes back to actually the Power 98.
Okay.
We both started there. Sure. So we have very similar foundation.
Okay.
You know, so every time I had an idea, he would know how to complete the idea. So I'm like, hey, okay. This might work. And then we went on to create this persona. Okay, I won't call it persona, like more of a nickname for ourselves, the Muttons. You know, we dyed our hair blonde, and that's it. It's
still blonde.
It's still blonde.
Yeah.
17 years later.
Okay.
So that's the story of how we got together.
Sure.
Genuinely didn't think it was gonna work.
Really?
It did.
How was the first day? Like the very first moment that you both met up, sat down in the table, and you're like, hi.
Hey, hello. It was very awkward, you know, because so I don't know if he wants people to know this, but when we first met, he was 33.
Okay.
He was a bit of a party boy.
Sure.
every night go zouk,
Yeah.
you know, marble, you know,
Yeah.
get that stuff. And I was not like that.
Sure.
I went to zouk like once a month, that kind of
We
thing.
can't verify, but okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know. So we were a little bit different in that sense,
Sure.
you know. So I was like, oh, I don't know, you know. So yeah, it was very awkward. And then we had this stupid idea that
Right.
we didn't start off as the Muttons. We started as these two guys trying to put a show together.
Sure.
So we had this dumbass idea to for our very first show, we're gonna call ourselves the You Suck Show. So everybody just call us and tell us how much
you suck.
Yeah,
Right.
One of those trying to be contrary kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously it didn't work. It was a dumb idea.
Sure.
But we managed to
Right.
move in a better direction very soon after. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And then, that's interesting. So were there times that you really wanted to like just punch him in the face or?
So that is the most common question people
Right.
ask, because you know I think we are the longest running
Sure.
partnership on radio in
Right.
radio ever, right? So people ask us all the time, you know, what happens if you guys fight?
Yeah.
I tell you the God's honest truth, you know, cross my heart, hope to die,
Yeah.
is that we have never ever fought.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. We are both not aggressive people.
Sure.
Yeah. Passive aggressive maybe a little bit, but neither of us are like, I must be right. Yeah. Neither of us are like that. So from the very start, we have had this thought that
Sure.
okay, the number one priority in our lives is our show.
Okay.
The show is more important. It's the most important thing ever.
Sure.
So important that you I don't know if you know this, but in 17 years, neither of us has ever taken a sick day. Yeah. Because
Wow,
the show must go on.
COVID.
COVID, we broadcast from home.
Oh, okay.
So the show never stopped.
Sure.
Yeah. So we were so insistent that must be the priority. So
So we were at the
fighting,
right? And you never fought. You guys been super professional, never gone in.
Yeah. So believe it or not, we actually don't fight because our priority is the show. You know, to us, nothing should ever disrupt the show.
Sure.
So you know, whenever we disagree on something, you know, the first thought is, okay, if we fight and start getting angry, then the show's going to be affected. So what's the point? And then you know, we've reached even an age now where we go like, fight for what? Got money, man? If we get angry at each other, got money, man?
Right.
No, then don't fight, lah.
Correct.
You know, so believe it or not, we've never had a disagreement that will cause us to like angry at you, don't talk to you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know it's very rare because I've had to help to mediate other shows and fighting as well. So I mean, it's human nature, but thankfully we have very similar minds with these kind of things. So we know how to run things like.
Right. So I mean, you've had so much experience in the industry, right? What does it take, you know, to run a good show, to host a good show, to produce a good show, right? Like what goes into all this to make it happen, right? At least something behind the scenes for.
It might be a very boring answer, but the answer is time. You got to put in the time.
Sure.
You know, a great presenter never stops working. You know, a lot of people go like, oh, your life's so easy, 6 to 10 a.m. and then after that, wow, free already. But for the rest of the day, you are prepping for the next day.
Sure.
Whatever you're doing, having lunch, talking to friends, having this conversation with you, you know, everything can be can I use that for tomorrow's show? You know, how can I make that interesting for my listeners, you know? So it's a never-ending process, and you need to put in the time. You're not going to get famous overnight. You need to put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, learn to do good production work, and nowadays you got to do more. You got to do social media, podcasts, and all that. So you need to put in the time, and you need to have good guidance. I always tell a lot of the new DJs, lean on all the experienced DJs around you. Never be afraid to ask them for critiques, questions, and all that. You know, but if anyone ever comes in and like, I'm too good for this. You know, don't tell me I'm wrong. You know, I need a break. You're never going to succeed.
Okay. Yeah. And what exactly helps you execute on a good show? Like how do you decide on what to talk about? Let's say tomorrow you got a show coming up tomorrow, right?
Right.
How do you decide? Like, okay, this is something that my audience is going to care about, and I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
And I'm going to. Like, how do you decide? Like, this is it.
So shows with partnerships, like the two of us, me and Vernon. So we always ask ourselves the question, you know, if we're going to talk about this next, do you care? Do I care? If neither of us do, we don't do it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, being on radio is about being relatable.
Sure.
You know, we always try to talk about what the audience is talking about. If there's a big talking point in the community, something is happening, you know, we want to be front and center of it. We want to give our opinion, our viewpoint. We're going to do a comedy bit about it, whatever we do about it.
Right.
You know, the most important thing to ask is, do you care? Do I care? Okay, if we care, then it's worth doing.
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, we are Singaporeans. Right. Hey, that's the name of the game show too. We are Singaporeans. At least we think we know what Singaporeans care about.
Sure.
So if we care enough to talk about it, then it's worth doing. Yeah. Which is why I'm not saying it's wrong.
Sure.
But it annoys me when I turn on the radio to some stations sometimes and people are going, hey, you know, did you hear in Egypt? Now they're doing this. Who cares? Who cares? You know? Oh, you know, this NFL player is it?
Right.
Who cares? Okay, maybe 4 people care. But you're broadcasting to hundreds and thousands of people.
Okay.
And, you know what the easiest thing for a radio listener to do is?
That's
it.
Right.
It takes them 2 seconds. It burns no calories.
Sure.
And that's it. You've lost them. You know? So you need to be relatable. You need to talk about what they want to hear you talk about. You know? And that itself is a skill.
Sure.
So if you've got that down, then you can decide, okay, is this worth doing?
Sure.
Yeah.
How do you decide? Like okay, so I'm trying to imagine things right now. So I really have no idea. So let's say you're hosting a show right now, right? You have a certain segment that you want to run, and then halfway through it, right? Like suddenly you have like drop-offs, right? Do you know that there's drop-offs, or like does that affect your show halfway through, and then suddenly you see like a lot of people drop off.
As in drop off in listenership.
Listenership.
Okay. So we don't have that live counter in the studio.
Okay.
And I think it's a good thing because I don't think a lot of people can take it if they're like, recently, you know.
Correct.
We do get a sense of our listenership within the week.
Okay.
Yeah, within the week we usually get what do you call that? A stat or a graph or whatever, you know, to show us that, okay, roughly how many people are listening in this week.
Sure.
Yeah. So we can adjust accordingly that way. Yeah. But I can that's scary, man.
I know, right? Like if you're hosting a live stream.
I'm not sure if I can do it. Yeah.
Those counts are just in your
that's true.
face,
if you do a Facebook Live.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my God.
In your face.
Yeah. So, thankfully. Radio doesn't have that to a certain extent, thankfully. But you know, I think sometimes it'll be useful for you to know that that really didn't work.
Sure.
You know, and let's try it another way. And that's another thing about radio, right? I mean, look, we have to produce 4 hours a day. That's 20 hours a week.
Sure.
That's how many hours in a month.
Right.
You know, it's not easy,
Yeah.
You know, so we will do things that don't work.
Sure.
You know, and again, it's something that we've always told ourselves that let's just try. If it doesn't work, let's move on.
Sure.
Don't move on, and then do it better next time.
Sure.
You know, but it's better to at least try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So has radio changed so far? Like, I mean, it's been over the past 10 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, when I started doing radio, we were still listening to CDs, right?
Sure.
So, of course, it's changed, you know, with your streaming services, and the advent of social media and all that. So, we've had a big readjustment process. You know, there was a time where, you know, some of the old fogies, myself included, would be like, oh, social media is the enemy. You know, it's taking away our listeners. But no, the truth is, if you sit down, social media is your friend.
Sure.
Use it as part of the show, you know, use it to make your show better.
Sure.
So for us, it was a great tool to help people visualize something. Because for many years, radio was always theater of the mind.
Correct.
Right? You say something and people can only imagine it. But now I can go like, hey, you go to our Instagram, you get to see this thing that we're talking about, you know, and you know, according to what you're saying just now in terms of, you know, you actually do see a spike in terms of, you know, like how many people follow you or how many people have liked this post when you do that, you know. So sometimes, you know, when people are invested in what you say, they want to know more, and social media is the way to do it. So yeah, it has evolved a lot. Thankfully, we're very lucky here in Singapore that radio listenership as a whole has not like dipped, nosedived. It has gone down. In the last 10 years, I would say maybe it's gone down 10%.
Okay.
You know, still very, very healthy listenership.
Okay, that's interesting.
And we continue to evolve with the times. Yeah.
Okay, Ken. So anyway, you know, had a chat with Germaine before, right?
Yes.
I didn't tell her, but like before she came in, I actually adjusted the chair a bit, like just a bit, right? I had to adjust the chair a bit.
She was part of our show before,
Sure.
and we almost call her Shorty G.
Oh no.
But yeah.
Okay, but yeah, what exactly? Like Germaine was sharing, right? If without you guys, she may not be in the industry. She says all these things, super nice.
She's too humble.
I'm like pretty sure they're paying you. They're doing something for you to say this, right? But what exactly did you see in
my God,
Germaine?
Germaine is such a talent. You know, she's such a talent. So how it started, the real story is that she took part in a talent search.
Yep.
Right, and I happened to be one of the judges for that. So so I was there, and there are like 8 contestants, I think, all came in, and immediately I'm like, this girl's gonna be a star.
Why?
She had this personality about her.
Sure.
In radio, it's not about how nice your voice is.
Sure.
That was the 60s. In radio, it's about your personality. You know, how you are attractive to an audience. How, you know, the way you present is it sounds great, but yet it's personable.
Sure.
You know, all these intangibles, and immediately she had it. No training, no experience. I think she was on her campus station, but yeah, no, you know. So I'm like, wow, this girl's gonna be a star. Through whatever circumstances, she didn't win the talent search, and the 987 who were holding the talent search decided not to pick her up on a contract. So I was like, oh, what a waste, you know? And at the time we were looking for a producer for our morning show.
Sure.
You know, and for our morning show, we work differently with producers.
Sure.
Some morning shows, their producers are there literally just to do research. They're in the background, you never know of them. Our morning show involves the producer in the show. They're a voice on the show, they're a different perspective, and we give them a personality.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was like, hang on, she would make a great third voice on our show.
Sure.
You know, such a wonderful personality. We are 2 older folks. She's younger.
Okay. Yeah.
We are 2 guys. She's a girl.
Sure.
A great different perspective. So immediately I was like, okay, do you want to join our show?
Sure.
You know, and she jumped at it. I think she was still at NTU at the time.
Sure.
Still studying. So
no
loss lah. You know. So for her, it's just a great little experience and all that. And she turned out to be such a fantastic producer for us. For us, for a producer for our show has to be, again, on that same wavelength.
Sure.
If we come up with an idea, can they build on that idea?
Sure.
If we ask her to, okay, we need you to do some research on this.
Yeah.
Are they going to go on a tangent?
Sure.
Or give us exactly what we want?
For example, like maybe is there one example of like how she's in the same wavelength she can build on it?
Yeah.
What was that one?
So we had this very silly idea once to come up with Vernon merchandise.
Okay.
You know, just to you know, it was a gag because Vernon always says he's more famous and more popular than me.
Right.
So and it's a gag, right?
Okay.
It's not true. So we decided, okay, if that's the case, then let's come up with Vernon merch and see if people will buy it.
Yeah,
you know, and so she worked with me on this particular one. We purposely left Vernon out of it.
Sure.
We tried to keep it as real as possible. So you know, it's like you go away. You know, we will decide what kind of merch to release. You know, and she came out with all these great ideas. You know, let's do these. I think we started with. At the time, Bitcoin was starting to become a thing. So we made like a Vernon coin. Chocolate coin.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so stuff like that. We came out with a Vernon A cup. Which is actually a mug.
Right, sure.
A Vernon A cup.
Sure.
Yeah. So we worked on it together. We worked on the design together, and the whole way I just had to tell, let's do it this way. Boom, she will run with it.
Okay.
And she knows exactly what the way to execute and stuff like that. So it was just, you know, working with her was just such a joy. She's so talented. And we knew immediately that she won't be a producer on our show for long.
Sure.
Because she will be her own radio star one day, you know, and there was a point where she goes like, you know, 987 has a spot open now for a full-time radio position. Should I take it? We're like, you have to go. You have to go because she's so good at it. She is the future of radio.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. And do you have to convince Vernon or? Vernon was on it all the way. Like the minute Vernon saw like Germaine.
Oh, absolutely. Again,
on the same
we
wavelength.
are very much of the same wavelength, and Germaine's of the same wavelength. So like within the first meeting, we're like, that's it.
Right.
And it was so difficult to find a replacement for her. Thankfully, we have. Long search, we did, but yeah, she knows, and for me and Vernon, again, it goes back to passion.
Sure.
If we see the passion in somebody, it's not about how much money you earn, it's not about how famous you're going to be, it's about you loving and creating a great show every day, and that's what we see in her as well.
So if you have like one advice, right, for anyone who wants to like host their own show or whatever it is, right, like you join a radio, host your own show, become a producer, or what do you think is the most important thing to?
I think I said this just now.
Right.
Time is okay. Let me give you an answer from the start. To be very honest, the most important thing you need is luck.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's a small industry in Singapore. Where you're talking specifically about radio. It's a very small industry.
Sure.
And as you will notice, most of us never leave.
Sure.
Yeah. Brian Richmond is still on radio. He's in his, I want to say he's in his late 70s. He might be older than that. But I mean, Uncle Brian is a legend, right?
Sure.
He's still on radio today.
Right.
Flying Dutchman is still on radio today.
Right.
Us radio DJs never leave.
Sure.
We do this till we die.
Sure.
So you would imagine there's so few vacancies. There's so few opportunities to break into the industry.
Sure.
So luck is a huge factor, to be honest, right? You can be the most talented person, but if we don't have a spot for you, we don't have a spot. And then you might just move on to do something else.
Sure.
Yeah. So luck and timing will be a very important factor. But the other thing I always tell people is that you need to take the time, man.
Sure.
Study how people do it. Take the time to get better at it.
Sure.
Do you play tennis?
When I was really young, but no, not now.
So it's like playing tennis.
Sure.
A sport like badminton.
Right.
Anybody can just pick up a shuttlecock and you can hit already.
Yeah.
Tennis is one of those sports that takes time.
Sure.
Nobody hits a ball smooth in 6 months.
Sure.
1 year, takes a lot of practice, a lot of time to even hit a forehand properly.
Right.
That's what radio is like. It takes a very long time to become smooth, to relate to an audience, for even people to know your name.
Sure.
It takes time, repetition, So without the time being put in, it's very hard to succeed. Sometimes when DJs, younger DJs come up to me and like, it's been 6 months, I'm still not getting any recognition, nobody knows my name. I'm like, it's been 6 months. It sometimes it can take 1 to 2 years for people to really know who you are and all that. So you need to give it time.
Sure. But how do you know you're on the right track? Like maybe just a quick one. Like how do you know you're on the right track or you're maybe on the wrong one? Like you can do the wrong thing continuously and you'll get it wrong.
For sure.
Right.
And I would say for this is taking the advice and seeking critique from the more experienced ones.
Sure.
Yeah, because a lot of the more experienced DJs, they'll be able to tell, okay, what you're doing is the way to go, what you're doing is not the way to go. Okay. So you have to seek out their advice and ask them, okay, am I doing it correctly?
Sure.
How can I do it better?
And how do they reach out? Like if you're some random person like trying to make it big, how do you reach out to somebody?
Wherever you do radio or presenting, there will be experienced people around.
Sure.
You just cannot be afraid or shy to ask.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I mean, here at MediaCorp, we're very open.
Sure.
I don't know about the other stations, but at MediaCorp, we're very, very open in terms of, for the youngsters to come and ask us anything they need and all that. So yeah, I mean, it's how much you want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing. But before like we end off, right? Is there something that you want to say to Vernon?
Wow.
But have not or cannot look him in the eye to tell him that? Is there something?
We've been such close friends. I see him every day. Right? I really cannot think of...
Or something he will cringe, like, oh, Justin, be quiet.
Vernon, you're not as popular as you think you are. because he does think he's the star of the show.
Right.
He really does. Yeah. So I do contribute to this pairing.
Right.
In fact, when most people see the two of us together, they see me first because I'm bigger. So you're not that popular. That's
Okay.
That's. I mean, we have no secrets from each other.
Sure, of course.
Right?
I can imagine, right?
I mean, most best friends don't see each other once a week.
Right.
So I mean, I'm lucky to be able to work with someone that I'm so close to.
Right.
So it's like he knows every deep dark secret of mine and mine of his. So.
All right, then that's great. But I think that's very nice to just end it off. I was hoping for something where you both can he'd say that.
No, we've had so many of those over the years that
But thank you so much for thank you so much for doing this.
It's been fun.
It's all right, just nice. I managed to keep it within 1 hour. I was like, okay.
Hey, you know my job. I can go on for 4 if you need me to. But hey, let me interview you. Since it's my job. I hear you sold your car.
Yes, I did. I did.
Why would you sell the best car you've ever had?
That's a very good question, right?
It's my job to ask good questions.
So the thing is, I'm actually thinking for the Model Y or the rear-wheel drive Model 3. Right. So that has always been on my mind. And to be really honest, right? I put my car up on SG Kamat. Normally I expect at least 6 months for the car to go.
Really?
Right? Normally I put it up there and I price it slightly a bit higher so that you don't have so much time to entertain all the messages, right?
And if don't sell fast, never mind.
Never mind.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, So and then this guy came to me, it's like the first thing he said to me was like, I'm not going to use FSD. And I was quite rude to him, right? And I said if you don't use FSD, don't get my car. Right? It's priced higher than someone else.
Exactly.
Right? But he came back to me in 3 days. He said, let's meet. And on the day he met, he printed all the sales agreement. Everything was ready. Wow. And I'm like, oh, that's fast. I'm not prepared. I'm not ready for this.
Okay.
All right.
So are you more likely to go with the 3 or the Y?
So I had about 3 weeks with the Y in the States. I like small cars.
Oh.
I've always driven hatchbacks.
You're a tall guy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it's high enough for me. And the main thing I like is liftbacks or hatchbacks because I like to throw things in the boot, right? If you cycle, you can put the stuff in.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if you cycle, you can put the stuff in and move on. So I'm gearing towards the 3 instead. Mainly because it's just a larger car for me. Like the Model Y is nice to have, right? It's big. But in Singapore streets, I had a Copen, right? I drove a Copen before.
Wow.
Right? It was a joke, right?
Yeah.
So you can't not laugh at the car, right? It's such a good joke.
Plus the 3 is gonna cost less.
Yes,
so
correct.
Okay.
So but FSD definitely, if I get the next one, I'm definitely putting in EAP or FSD.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because I found out that you had sold your car. I'm like,
sure.
But you're the Tesla guy. How can you not own a Tesla?
I know, right?
So okay. But I completely understand.
Sure.
When it comes to cars and all that,
Right.
I completely understand. So hey, good luck with that. I just hope you don't have to pay $110,000.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to pay the CVD for the car, right? Yeah, but same color, nice color by the way. We are running the exact same rate.
Really?
Exact same rate. So you can find the owner who took over my car. It's the exact same rate. It's the soul rate they call it.
I think that according to the guys who wrapped my car, shout out to Coconut,
of course.
I think there are only 3.
He wrapped 3 of them. So that's one more, which is probably mine.
Right, there you go.
He wrapped 3 of them. There's definitely somebody using the same.
So there aren't that many people with this soul red, which
correct.
is so nice.
It's really nice.
I love this red. Yeah,
right.
When he first showed it to me, because I told him I want the red.
Sure.
So he showed me all the reds, all the different shades, and I'm like, oh, this one.
Right.
And he showed me a previous car that he had wrapped. Must have been yours.
I'm not too sure. No, he didn't wrap my car. So my car was wrapped somewhere else. So if I was in the lane, then it won't be 3, right? You probably would have somebody else.
So you showed me a picture of someone with the red. I'm like, okay, that's it.
Right.
It has to be
red.
Right. Yeah. And I've been loving this. It is the nicest color I've ever had.
It is. It's one of the best. So I spent weeks flipping through all the colors, right? Like,
Yeah.
There was a very specific red I wanted, right? It was a Tesla Roadster red,
Ah!
right? And I was like, "Ah, I can't find it. And one fine day, there was this book somewhere that I saw. It was like EXO or something. I think it was a Chinese manufacturer, right? And it said Soul Red.
Oh.
And the minute I saw it, I was like, oh wow, is this the Mazda red? Like the Mazda MX-5 red. It's a very nice red, right? They've got a very nice red, but this is brighter and like it's shinier in the day. And
oh, under the sun, it's
so nice, right?
It's beautiful, man. So hey, good luck with whatever's next for your next car.
Yeah,
very cool.
So yeah, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Wow. EAP Autopilot. When you try it,
I feel like after this conversation,
you're gonna check out on your phone.
I will go for it.
Right.
I feel like it will.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah. So with that, if you guys like the conversation, you can find Germaine Ang on Instagram.
Oh yeah, just
I'll link all your socials there. I mean, you're so popular, right?
Find us on Muttons, Muttons. Just very easy. We managed to grab that username early, so thankfully. Yeah. And I said this on Darren's video as well. Like if anybody has any questions about EVs, Teslas, and all that, hey, feel free to get in touch. I love answering those questions because I think the more conversations we have, the better.
Yeah, of course. All right. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.